So after watching a bit too many heel versus babyface videos, I have started paying more attention to what Blizzard is doing, how they are treating their customers, and also how they are treating the game itself. Before I go full rant mode, let me just say that I do not hate store mounts in general, and I would not mind buying store mounts to support the game if I actually thought my money would have an impact on the game, and if the mounts were better. The mounts in the in-game store have little to no relation to the current content or the current expansion, and it always seems like they're just trying to throw something completely new in the in-game store to make people want to buy it. A few examples come to mind here, like a flying pig, a flying rat, a flying boat, and yeah, pretty much all of the models and the effects of the mounts in the in-game store are designed to make them really unique and not just a recolor, which I guess is technically fine, but like, we just had 8.3 come out, a patch dedicated to Nisoth and him corrupting Azeroth, and we get a flying rat as our store mount. Why not just give us some corrupted dragon, some shadowy mount, or just something that has anything at all to do with 8.3's main theme? The only mount in the in-game store I can think of that actually made sense in terms of lore and expansion is the Dreadwake, aka the flying boat. I think it's a shame really, because a lot more players would be totally okay with buying mounts if they felt like their money was helping Blizzard make more content, better content, and deliver faster content. But looking at BFA alone, we've had little to no content, and 8.3 provides a small loop of visions to upgrade your cloak to make future visions easier, to acquire more cloak upgrades to make visions even easier, and if you don't like that loop, well, too bad. If you look at games like Final Fantasy, they also have in-game mounts that you can pay to obtain, and most people don't mind that because it has a lot of content. Good content, fast, and good content updates, and yeah, in general it's just a good game. So let's just talk about the timing. We literally just had 8.3 drop a couple of days ago, meaning a lot of classic players might test out BFA just for new content. A lot of previous BFA players might come back for a month to test out new content, and since it is the last patch of BFA, a couple of completely new players might enter the World of Warcraft scene as well. On one hand, that is the perfect opportunity for Blizzard to make some quick cash, because there are probably more people playing BFA now than there will be until Shadowlands comes out. However, I really dislike the way they did it for a couple of different reasons. First off, the 8.3 launch was a mess. World quests were reset when you relogged, you could stay in visions indefinitely to farm coalescing visions, and corrupted mementos indefinitely. You could farm and open up greater coffers, aka goodie bags, indefinitely. And for gold makers like me, the auction house was a mess, and if you made a sale, there was a chance that the gold wouldn't even reach your mailbox and it would just be lost in the Nexus. On top of this, we even had issues from the beta testing of 8.3 actually make it to the live version, which makes me question how much they actually listen to their community, considering multiple people with thousands of followers were tweeting and streaming about these issues. Secondly, they have already said that there will most likely not be an 8.3.5 patch, as they do not have one planned. They want to leave BFA in the dust and work on Shadowlands, which is understandable, but it also means that they're basically saying that they have no content planned until Shadowlands. This is why I think it's such a scumbag move to give out a free flying rat mount with a recurring 6 months sub, because Blizzard already knows that 80% of players will only play for a month or two before they figure out that hey, there's no more content in this patch once I have my cloak fully upgraded and I've completed the raid at the difficulty I want, and then they realize that they've paid for 6 months subscription and quit after 2 months, essentially giving Blizzard a lot more money than they otherwise would. Blizzard is using the 8.3 hype, and the fact is that 8.3 is fun in the beginning, because it is new content, but there's not a lot of new content, so it will get boring really quick, unless you're on some endless grind like me trying to make a lot of gold before Shadowlands, but even that gets boring after a while. And then, when I thought I couldn't get more pissed off at Blizzard for attempting to do a cash grab, I see this little ad when I'm scrolling through my Twitter. Blizzard is offering 30% discounts on certain paid services, which happen to be faction change and race change. And why? Well, because they just released 8.3, which brought with it the Mechanomes and Vulpera, two very sought after races, and Blizzard knows this, and plays this card to its full extent. They know that players want a Vulpera or a Mechanome, and they know that giving 30% discounts will persuade more people to just be like, oh well, it's on sale, I guess I should just buy one now before it goes back to its original price. They also know that some Alliance players might consider switching over to Horde to play the Vulpera race, and vice versa, which is why they know that they will make bank by giving a discount on faction changing as well. Again, this is something both I and you should be grateful for, since this is basically Blizzard giving us a discount of something that they didn't have to give us a discount for, and they would have sold race changes even without this discount. But because of the timing, I just really hate this. It's so obvious that at this point, Blizzard is just milking BFA for everything they can, squeezing out every single penny they can. It's also quite convenient timing for all of this, considering a lot of classic players have quit the game now, for reasons we'll cover in a later video, but if you want a quick explanation, go watch Tips Out's video on the current state of the game, where he pretty much explains why he and many other content creators are feeling burnt out, and why many casual players have decided to drop out of Classic as well. It is also obvious that BFA has a lot less players now than it did back at launch. All of this basically means that Blizzard is making less money now than they were before, which is why they're trying to increase the amount of revenue they can earn per player, instead of trying to increase the amount of players they have, which I think is the wrong mindset, but I'm not a game developer, so I'm just gonna shut up. I do think that Blizzard could have given out a regular store mount that would be somehow 8.3 themed, like a corrupted dragon or some shadow mount, and made it cost $25 and not come with a 6-month subscription, but being like a paid product, so you pay $25 and you get the mount, like most store mounts work. They could have made a lot of cash that way if they made the mount cool enough. They could have also added some type of corrupted pet as well, and maybe even sold a corruption bundle containing both the mount and the pet for a small discount, which I think would be fine, because then they wouldn't be taking advantage of the hype and tricking players to subscribe for 6 months. The point is, there are so many ways Blizzard could have done this, and they chose to do it in a way that would make players angry, and it's kinda like they're shooting themselves in the foot over and over again. They do one good thing, then they do one bad thing, then they do another good thing, and they do another bad thing. They can't always do good things, they have to stay neutral, apparently. So with this being said, I want to ask you, what do you think of Blizzard's current way of monetizing their game? Do you think they're adding too many store mounts? Would you like there to not be any store mounts? Or would you like to see them add more expansion-specific mounts that actually make sense when it comes to the theme of the game and the lore? I'm really interested in hearing your thoughts on this subject, and make sure you let me know what you think about these types of videos as well. I don't make these types of videos often covering news like this, because well, there are already many other great channels that cover news fast, and they cover it very well as well. But when it comes to this subject, I've just really felt like making a video on the topic to kind of put my own feelings into words, and also to ask you guys what you think about it as well. So make sure you leave a comment, join my Discord server, smash that like button, subscribe for more, and ring that bell. And that's it. I'll see you in the next video.